So with the Autumn Nation series done and dusted for another year, I think I've had some good time to reflect, and also I think the teams have had good time to reflect as well. So just looking at Ireland's performances, I think pretty decent. The highlight will probably be beating South Africa in week 1. And yeah, they've just, I guess, retained their top spot in the world rankings, so overall a really good Autumn Nations for them. Looking at England then, the highlight will definitely be, I guess, coming back in the last 10 minutes against New Zealand, but then downfalls are obviously losing to Argentina and then poor performance against South Africa. So I think Eddie Jones is getting a little bit uncomfortable in the seat at the moment. I think that they're also reviewing his job currently. In my opinion, I don't think he's going to go, being so close to the World Cup, but obviously you never know, with obviously Wayne Pivac being announced today that he's obviously left and Gatland is back. Once again, France don't disappoint. They've actually were unbeaten in this Autumn Nation series. Really good performances against Australia and South Africa and also Japan. So I think they'll be pretty happy, especially going into next year's Six Nations and also the World Cup. They've got to be, I guess, somewhat favourites for that tournament. South Africa's Autumn Nations, I guess, was a mixed bag. Really positive ending in victory against England. However, the loss to France probably would hurt them more than they'd like to say. And obviously Ireland at the start of the tournament too. So didn't get off to the greatest of start, but obviously beating England is always a one-up. New Zealand's tour was very good as well. Actually were unbeaten. Smashed Wales in the first performance of the series, and then really tough outing at Murrayfield against Scotland. And then obviously England, they did let it slip a little bit, but you can't blame them. I guess they have been touring for several weeks, and also England did just come out firing in the last 10 minutes. So they will be disappointed, but again, like France, they'll be strong favourites for the World Cup next year. Now looking at Wales, really disappointing Autumn Nation series. Obviously lost to Italy in the Six Nations, but another loss against New Zealand. That's 2 in 2 years. Got absolutely smashed, to be fair. And then also losing to Georgia, which just rounded it off and unfortunately lost Pivac his job. So hopefully by now we all know that Gatland is back and should be nailed on for the World Cup, to be honest. They might be the underdogs of the tournament. And then rounded it off with Scotland's Autumn Nation series. Really good win against Fiji, obviously opening the tournament. Then the loss to New Zealand. I don't think they'd be too disappointed with that. They played really well actually. And then the final game against Argentina, well, they absolutely smashed it. And obviously Argentina beating England and giving Wales a close game. It was a really good result. Well, in my opinion anyway. And of course, got to mention Italy. Had an absolutely fantastic Autumn Nation series. Came actually quite close against South Africa, even though it was 63-21, I believe. Just had a really good performance. And obviously beating Australia was an absolutely huge feat for them, as well as smashing Samoa 49-17. So I think Italy are definitely coming up, but I think we've been saying that for a few years, if not decades now. So let's hope they can keep the consistency, because it's really good to see. So taking a look at my team then for the final round of the Autumn Nations. 489 points. Obviously captain the wrong person. I went with English bias and captain Freddie Stewart. Should have captain Aronsa. Such a silly pick from my point of view. However, still overall happy with my score. Farrell scored pretty decent points as well. Anscombe, before he got injured, was absolutely doing a madness for Wales. And obviously Thomas Williams went off something in like the first 5 minutes, so obviously didn't score any points at all. Faletau was a big stand-up for me, obviously getting a try to his name as well. And then I guess Marks with 47 as a super sub, not too bad too. And Rio Dyer on the bench with 33 halved points. So overall, wasn't too disappointed. Obviously, we only had 4 teams to pick from, so getting a differential players was going to be really hard. So I guess that's why I picked Freddie Stewart as captain, because I would have thought lots of people would captain Aronson, but it was probably justified. So now looking at the JG Rugby rankings, and I have to say, Ryan, he absolutely smashed it this tournament. He came first with, I think, 300 points more than anybody else. So massive congrats, absolutely consistent player, and I guess it's not just luck if it happens 4 weeks on the bounce. So huge congrats to Ryan. Ollie also smashed it, 2546 in points. I think he went up 4 places in the last round, so I think he pipped a few people to second place, but massive congrats again. And then third place we had Hugh, not too far off second place Ollie. I think it was about 20 points, so really unlucky there. But I think you also went up 3 places in the final round, so huge congrats to you 3 for obviously topping the charts. And I think Ryan actually got pretty close to winning the whole thing on obviously the whole fantasy leagues. Yeah, he came 4th out of everyone in the fantasy game, so huge congrats. He actually went up 15 places in the last round as well, so Mr. Consistent did it again in the final round. Just really unlucky, obviously, to miss out on that top 3. But Ryan, huge congrats if you're listening, and to also Ollie and Hugh. So massive well done to you both. I think overall I came in the top 2,600s, so really not very good from me. So I might have to start getting tips from you guys down in the comments as opposed to the other way around. But as ever, fantasy is obviously a really fun game. If you enjoy rugby or you just enjoy the fantasy concept, then it's really enjoyable. I've also enjoyed it, this Autumn Nation series, and I've really enjoyed, I guess, collaborating with you guys down in the comments and just seeing everyone's hype and enjoyment of the game. So it's really nice to see. We'll be back again in the new year for the Six Nations. I can already smell it. So keep your eyes peeled, turn notifications on, and I'll see you all next year.